So I want to use three images that correspond with our three scripture readings today. And the first one is from our second reading, a cornerstone. That's what St. Peter uses as an image. The second one is a mission statement. And that's really our first reading, where we see the church as it's growing. And then the last one is the Biltmore Mansion in Asheville. Really, really cool place. So first, a cornerstone. Nowadays, a cornerstone is really just a ceremonial object that's put on the side of a building. It doesn't really have a structural function. But originally, a cornerstone was absolutely essential because the cornerstone was put in place first, and it was the reference point that all the measurements of the building were drawn from. And so in order for the building to be plumb and square, and in order for it to have the proper dimensions, the architect and the builders would draw their measurements from that cornerstone in each direction so that the building was sound. And so without that cornerstone, the building was very, very unstable, unsound. And so St. Peter in the second reading today uses that image for Christ, that Christ is the cornerstone. He is the reference point by which the structure is whole, by which the structure is ordered, and by which it is in proper dimension. Now that's important for us because we know that we live in a world that is a good bit disordered. We live in a world that often draws its standards from something else. Many times people look to the world to see, am I going in the right direction? Am I doing the right things? Am I a good person? Am I okay? The problem is, without a proper standard, those questions don't have good answers. But if we let Christ be that standard, that reference point, then those questions have deeper meaning. Am I going in the right direction? Jesus is the one who said, I am the way. And so if we are following the way of Christ, yes, we are going in the right direction. Am I a good person? Well, we use the standard of Christ to measure our morals. We look back to Christ to see what is the standard of morality. It's always human dignity. Whatever holds up human dignity is appropriate and good. And so when we look to Christ as that standard, we ourselves have proper order. And that's why St. Peter again uses an image for us, that we are being built up into a spiritual house. Now, a spiritual house needs to know what it's about, what its purpose is, and that's where a mission statement comes in. Organizations write mission statements all the time because it helps them to determine what they are doing and what they should not be doing. And so, for instance, the mission statement of our cathedral parish is that we are an evangelizing parish that makes disciples through worship, formation, and service. And it's in that order. And it guides and directs all the things that we do. The first and most important thing we do every single week is to gather here on Sunday and worship. Because without grounding ourselves in a living relationship with the person of Jesus Christ, nothing else is going to make sense. And so then from that, having connected with the living God in worship, we share the gift of faith. And that's through formation, through catechesis, through evangelization, through explaining the faith, giving a reason for our hope. And then finally, because of those two things, we reach out in love, in service to those in need, because that's an integral part of who we are. It's an essential feature of our faith. And so those three things together give definition to the actions that we undertake. And that's why we know that bingo is not an essential ministry of the parish. It might be fun, but it is not essential. It is not at the core of who we are. And so it gives shape and guides. And that's why I want to use that image of the Biltmore. Hopefully you've at least seen pictures of the Biltmore Mansion in Asheville. It is a cool building. And when you look at it, you will see that it is in beautiful proportion. Everything is symmetrical. Everything has harmony. And it has a lot of space, a ton. In fact, my first impression when I went to the Biltmore was this place was built for a party. This place was intended to host a lot of people. Not only does it have a ton of bedrooms, but it's got these great salons, it's got these amazing gardens. It was designed to gather people together. And that's the same thing in the gospel. Jesus tells us that in my Father's house there are many dwelling places. I prefer to say mansions because a dwelling place sounds kind of like a really bad B&B. But mansion, a mansion is a place that gathers people together. A mansion is a place that offers hospitality and has room for everyone. And that's the heart of the Father. The reason why the church grew so rapidly in the Acts of the Apostles is because those first apostles and disciples had the heart of the Father to reach out to every single one, even when they experienced rejection, even when they knew the message of Jesus Christ might not be received well, they still had the courage to preach the good news of Jesus risen from the dead. And that's why the Father's house is designed intentionally to welcome everyone. And so we need to have that heart of the Father as well. We need to have a heart that reaches out to others and says, I want to share with you something that has changed my life. I want to share with you a reference point, a cornerstone in my life from which I draw all other things. It's what makes my life make sense. It's what helps me to know who I am and what I'm about. It's what allows me to measure each day against the standard of Jesus Christ, who is our cornerstone. And so I want you to do something. You know I love threes, so I want you to think of 3 people today that you might be able to invite to take a step closer in their relationship with Christ. Think about 3 people that you might say, hey, would you like to go to Mass with me? Or if that seems too scary, we have concerts every single month. They're free and they're beautiful. Invite somebody to come to a concert because when they walk into this church, they're going to walk into a place dedicated to the worship of Jesus Christ, our cornerstone. In whatever way you can, think about someone that you might bring with you on that journey, because we want the Father's house to be filled. We want everyone to have a place in the Father's house. Our lives are intended to be lived in a way that is that invitation, that the Father's heart is expressed through us to others so that they might too come to know Jesus Christ, our cornerstone.